In the course of carrying out its mandate to monitor elections, the Human Rights Commission says it has observed a disturbing trend in the media coverage of the 2011 campaigns, the discrimination against some candidates. Without being specific, the Human Rights Watchdog says some media outlets, particularly the electronic media, are not providing equitable time to the presidential contenders.
We've been monitoring the media, particularly the radios and the TVs. We've had complaints. Some of the radio stations don't allow certain candidates to talk on their radio. This is a discrimination.
This view is shared by the Electoral Commission, which has come out strongly to caution media organizations against denying candidates access to their stations. The polls body says in doing so, the media, especially radio stations, are faltering on their obligation.
You better read your act, the statute. I think you have obligation to cover equitably the various candidates.
In the current presidential campaigns, some candidates have reported incidents where their money has been returned by radio station owners after they had booked time to use the airwaves.
If there is a question of somebody who has refused a political leader with whom they disagree from appearing on his or her show or on her media, that's also freedom.
Equal opportunity should be given to everybody vying for whichever office, because the license that you get is meant to serve all Ugandans, irrespective of their color, race, sex, religion, etc.
In an effort to get the media to provide balanced coverage, the African Center for Media Excellence recently drafted some guidelines for the entire media fraternity to ensure that there is equitable coverage of the elections without bias. The challenge, however, is that most radio stations, especially in the countryside, are owned by politicians, most of them NRM members.
They knew these elections were coming. They also knew that nearly 80% of the media, even when they are private, are owned by NRM-leaning business people. Why did they start their own radio station?
Some of you say, I am a private, but you seek business from government. And when you seek business from government, you draw from a taxpayer's coffers. So where is your counter obligation?
However, while there may be private business, the owner should not deny their opponents access because the frequency spectrum is still public property.
If a candidate fails to fill the content in that airtime, it is the shauri of that candidate. Let the population know, so you are vindicated.
But the NRM spokesperson Ofono Pondo differs from this observation, saying that this is not a new phenomenon. On the international scene, some media organizations have been known to endorse the candidates of their choice.
In Europe and in America, newspapers and radio stations, CNN, they do endorse presidential candidates. And I think our news organizations here should endorse. They should take that bold step for one.
The Human Rights Commission chairman and a lawyer by profession, Medi Kagwa, says the media law stipulates that when one is acquiring the license for broadcast, there should be no segregation along party lines.
The little I know about the media law, when they give you a license to operate a radio, even if it's private, they don't give you to run it for a single party or a single group. They give you a license to run a radio for Ugandans.
However, some argue that the conduct of the candidates is partly to blame for their denial to access the radio stations. In its report, the Foundation for Human Rights Initiative, it noted that the print media has also not given equal coverage to the candidates.
You find there are candidates so far who are on front page virtually every other day, and others can only find the middle or the end of the newspaper. So we are saying that needs to be improved.
But on a positive note, all the critics agree that the media has improved tremendously in executing its mandate compared to the 2006 presidential elections. The challenge now remains on how the media owners will balance their economic interests vis-à-vis their party affiliation and their obligation to serve all Ugandans without breaching both the media and the electoral laws. Hilary Yesiga, NTV.